Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. So Manchester United are looking at Ismaila Sarr, and we have made contact with Watford over a possible deal. Now we are seeing him as an alternative to Sanchon. It also mentions that Liverpool are interested in Ismaila Sarr. Liverpool have already made two signings so far in this summer transfer window. Obviously, they got Sikmas from Olympiacos, and they've just recently got Thiago Alcantara from Bayern Munich. Now, Watford have revealed their asking price. They do want at least £36 million. Now, Watford did pay around £30 million for Sarr from Rennes last year. And I think he's actually Watford's most expensive signing. He did sign a 5-year contract with Watford, so he is under contract with them until 2024. In the Premier League for Watford, he has made around 28 appearances. He's scored 5 goals and provided around 4 assists. He is only the age of 22, so still very, very young, and he's predominantly a winger. Watford is the third club in his playing career. Like I said, before he was at Watford, he was at Rennes, and before he was at Rennes, he was at Metz. That's where he began his footballing career. So would you take him at Manchester United? Ismaila Sarr? Because Sanchon now to Manchester United looks very, very unlikely. I heard that Sanchon has not asked Borussia Dortmund to leave. Erling Haaland has spoken about Jadon Sancho's future, and he's confident that Jadon Sancho will stay at Borussia Dortmund for this season. So these negativity coming out regarding Jadon Sancho. It's because we can't come to an agreement on a fee with Borussia Dortmund because, Borussia Dortmund's valuation is £108 million, and we're not determined to meet their valuation. But throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block because we're not determined to meet what they are demanding. Now, Fabrizio Romano did recently say that the personal terms for Jadon Sancho were agreed, and he still says he wants to come to Manchester United. And you had David Ornstein from The Athletic saying, that, the personal terms and that have been agreed, the agent fees and the contract's worth 250 grand a week has been agreed. Solskjaer recently spoke to Jadon Sancho and assured that his move to Manchester United is very close. And it says we could wait until the final week of the transfer window to push a move for the player. Obviously, you had Borussia Dortmund boss Lucien Favre. He recently said that Sancho will stay at Dortmund this season. Sebastian Kell, he also said the same thing, that Sancho will probably stay at Dortmund this season. But Sancho is our number one priority target. And Solskjaer's very, very infuriated over the Jadon Sancho saga because it's gone on for such a long time now. We have been in for the player for like the last 3 years. We were saying that we wanted to sign Sancho before, we play Crystal Palace. Obviously now that's not going to happen. But last month, Dortmund said to us that we had until the 10th of August to sign Sancho. Obviously, we missed out on that deadline, so Sancho decided to go out on pre-season, and it mentioned a few weeks ago that we'd abandoned our chase for the player until the summer of 2021. But one thing it did say is that we are not giving up on the signing of the player. You know, if we don't get him in this summer transfer window, then we may never sign him, because next year, I presume that quite a few clubs will go in for Sancho. You know, Real Madrid will go in for him, Barcelona, maybe even Liverpool will go in for him. So we are concerned that we will face competition. Now, Sancho has enjoyed 3 good years with Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund only paid £8 million in for Man City back in 2017. He enjoyed a few years at Man City, but the main explanation he left Manchester City is because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities. It's not only good from our perspective if we sign Sancho in this summer transfer window, it'd also be good from Manchester City perspective, because they'd get around 15% of the transfer fee. Sancho has still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. And I've outlined the reasons why I wanted Manchester United to sign him is because he's got a very good friendship with Rashford. He's predominantly a right winger, and Man United are in search for the right winger. And plus, he is very, very young, and he has got good physical attributes. But from my own perception, you know, Dortmund are just demanding too much money. I think he's an exceptional player, but I think he's probably worth from between 70 to 80 million pound at the most. We knew that if we'd have signed Sancho, he would have been our next number 7, because obviously he'd have fulfilled number 7 well, and you know, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations, but at this moment in time, we have got number 7 vacant at the moment. But Sancho has said quite a few times that he wants to come to Manchester United. But, you know, don't forget, Dortmund have let quite a few of their big names go in recent years. You know, a lot of them have actually gone to the Premier League. You know, they let likes of Aubameyang go, they let Christian Pulisic go, they let Ilkay Gundogan go, they let Mkhitaryan go, they let Kagawa go quite a few years ago now. They let the likes of Matt Hummels go, Ousmane Dembele, Robert Lewandowski. So they are known as a selling football club. But I am disappointed now that we're not going to be getting Sancho on the board. This is why we've been looking at more alternatives in recent weeks. So I just think now Sancho doesn't want to leave Borussia Dortmund. That's now where we are with this. Now I want to delve into some news on Alex Telles from Porto. I think I mentioned him yesterday. So according to the Portuguese outlet Ebola, Alex Telles is back in Manchester United's plans, and it says that Alex Telles is close to signing for Manchester United. This has been confirmed by his agent. A formal bid is expected in the coming days by Manchester United. Now, Porto are willing to let him go for around 18.5 million. Is that like half or less than half of his release clause? Is his release clause around £37 million? I think Alex Telles has demanded a salary of around €4 million a year to sign a new contract with Porto, but Porto are not willing to meet his demands. His current contract with Porto does expire in like 10 months. Now, he has been at Porto for quite a few years. I think he's enjoyed around 4 years with them. I think Porto did pay around €6.5 million for him from Galatasaray. Don't forget he had a loan spell with Inter Milan. When he was younger, he played for Grêmio and also to Juventude. He is a left-back. Man United are obviously in search for a left-back. We have got 2 predominant left-backs in the team at the moment, and that's obviously Luke Shaw and Brandon Williams. But we're in now for Alex Telles because obviously we've missed out on Sergio Reguilón. And he is the age of 27. So that is the breaking news on him. But there's around 3 weeks or just under 3 weeks left in this summer transfer window. And Manchester United have still got quite a few things to do. Obviously, we've got to make more signings. We've also got to offload players. We are struggling to offload our fringe players. We need to get rid of players because, quite frankly, there is still deadwood at the football club. Obviously, we need to get rid of Jesse Lingard. We need to get rid of Andres Pereira. We're obviously looking to get rid of Smalling, Rojo, Jones. We're looking to get rid of Diego Dalot. Sergio Romero, he's open to leaving the football club. So there's a few things that Manchester United have got to do. So far, we have only made one signing in this summer transfer window, and that was Donny van de Beek from Ajax. He's a very, very good signing, he's Donny van de Beek, but Solskjaer's confirmed he wants to make 3 more signings after Donny van de Beek, because you can see that Solskjaer's trying to change the culture of the club and he is trying to improve the squad. But Solskjaer is very, very infuriated with our board. Main explanation is over lack of transfer business in this summer transfer window, but we've been very critical of the board for several years anyway, reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've obviously overpaid for players. The managers that we've had since Ferguson retired, haven't been backed enough. We've made a lot of mistakes as well in the last 7 years. And I think Solskjaer deserves more backing. I don't think he's getting backed enough as Manchester United manager. He really, really isn't. And Woodward said quite a few times that, he's going to back Solskjaer. And the Glazers said quite a few times that they're going to back Solskjaer. Obviously, Woodward's been at the football club since 2012. Obviously, since Woodward's come in, he's obviously sat 3 managers. And that was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. Obviously, we spent close to the £1 billion range on players in the last 7 years, and we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Ferguson's retirement. And the Glazers, they've been at the football club since 2005, so they've been here 15 years, and I think they've fucked Man United up since, obviously, they came in. But I think Solskjaer's totally blameless in all of this, because I think he is progressing as Manchester United manager, and he has publicly admitted that Man United have got to spend money in this summer transfer window. But, there has been a lot of players on our agenda, and we're missing out on a lot of our targets. We obviously missed out on Erling Haaland in January. He went to Dortmund, and like I said, it was a shame we missed out on Erling Haaland because he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing. Jude Bellingham, we also missed out on him. We've now missed out on Thiago Alcantara from Munich. We missed out on Grealish because Grealish recently signed a 5-year contract with Aston Villa, so he's committed his future with Villa. We recently missed out on Sergio Reguilon from Real Madrid. At one point, we was emerged as the favourites to get him in. We obviously missed out on Gareth Bale. So we have missed out on quite a lot of players. Looks like now we're going to be missing out on Sanchon in this summer transfer window. I heard now that Solskjaer postpones signing a centre-half until the summer of 2021, but I think, Manchester United do need a centre-half because we need someone to go alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. But we have got around 7 centre-halves in the team. But like I've said on my recent videos, I think Solskjaer has been in he is in a similar situation to what Jose Mourinho was in. Don't forget, Jose Mourinho endured 2.5 years at Manchester United. Obviously did win the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season at the club, and also got a second. But the main explanations why Mourinho got sacked is because he had bad disputes with the board and bad disputes with the top players. And in the summer of 2018, he wasn't getting backed enough because he made it clear to our board that he wanted the centre-half in. Mourinho obviously never got that centre-half in. And also under the Jose Mourinho era, we recommended 11 players in to the football club. you know. And I think now Man United have got to make at least two more signings in this summer transfer window before it shuts if we are to challenge for the title this season. Now, I said to you, didn't I, know this season is big for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United because obviously, this season is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second full season at the football club. And obviously he knows that he's got to exceed expectations this season. If we don't make any more signings in this summer transfer window, then maybe we'll just be expected to get, finish in the top four so we can get qualification for the Champions League. Will Man United win any silverware this season? I think that could be another one of our expectations because we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under the Solskjaer era, and we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years, and this is the first time this has happened in just over 30 years. If we are to do well this season, then obviously more Manchester United fans will be convinced that Solskjaer is the right manager and he is the foreseeable future for the club. And we could even possibly extend his contract. Obviously, if things are to go wrong this season, then maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be back under pressure. Obviously, the pressure's eased away from Solskjaer because the second part of last season we was very, very good, weren't we? Don't forget we are unbeaten in the league since January, so we are unbeaten in our last 14 league games. Don't forget we did go on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions until Chelsea had beaten us in the FA Cup semi-final. But don't forget the first part of last season we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season, and at that point Solskjaer was so close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. And obviously at that point there was talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in, and there was also talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming into the club. But obviously last season was Solskjaer's first full season at Manchester United, and to be honest with you, I think he exceeded most of his expectations. The only expectation he didn't exceed was winning a trophy. But obviously, he got us qualification for the Champions League, and I did say how important Champions League was for our players, attracting players and for the financial structure. We also finished third. That's the second highest we've finished since Ferguson's retirement. And we also progressed to 3 semi-finals. We got to the FA Cup semi-final, the Europa League semi-final, and the EFL Cup semi-final. But don't get me wrong, Solskjaer's been at the football club now over a year and a half, and, I have taken positives from his tenure. Obviously, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took over the reins at Manchester United in December 2018, he's had a habit of, promoting young, homegrown talents. And he set a challenge for our academy players, to replicate, Mason Greenwood, Brandon Williams, and others. We have got a lot of good young players coming through at Manchester United. We really, really have. I think there could be a bright future for Tiedemann Menge. Don't forget he made his senior debut for the club in the Europa League. Hannibal Mejbri, however you pronounce his name, you've got to say he's probably got a bright future at the club. Some United fans think that James Garner has got a bright future at the football club, and that Ethan Galbraith, he got promoted into the senior squad not so long ago. Ethan Laird, he also got promoted into the senior squad not so long ago. And I've also got to say as well, Solskjaer has promoted the youth well, and he's also brought quite a few academy players in this summer transfer window, so that's also another positive. So far with the football club, Solskjaer has spent over £200 million. He's obviously brought 6 senior players in. So last summer he brought Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And in January he brought Bruno Fernandes. And he obviously brought Odi Nagalo in on loan. Odi Nagalo was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup last season. Just after lockdown, we extended Odi Nagalo's loan till January 2021. Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in to Manchester United. We've seen players like Lukaku leave. Maybe we made a mistake by getting rid of Lukaku. We've seen Sanchez leave. We made the right decision getting rid of Sanchez because it obviously freed up our wage bill because his wages were having a really bad effect on the club. We obviously seen Angel Gomez leave. Some United fans wanted him to stay, but he left because obviously wasn't getting in the team enough, quite frankly. Seeing Herrera leave, we can say we also should have kept him. Fellaini left in January 2019. He was the first player to leave under the Solskjaer era. Darmian left last summer. Valencia left last summer. Ashley Young left back in January. We've also loaned a few players out. We loaned Tahith Chon out to Werder Bremen a few weeks ago now, was it? Obviously, so he can get regular first team football. We loaned Dylan Levitt out. I think, Joe Pereira has also gone back out on loan. So, yeah, Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of players since he got recommended in. We've also extended a lot of players' contracts since Solskjaer come to Man United as well. Maybe there's some players we shouldn't have given contracts to, but there's some players we've given contracts to who deserve new contracts. The most recent players that signed new contracts at Man United were obviously Dean Henderson. A few weeks ago, he signed a 6-year deal worth 120 grand a week. Brandon Williams, he signed a 4-year deal not so long ago. Don't forget, we recently gave Brandon Williams a number 33 shirt. He's the first player to wear the number 33, I think, since Paddy McNair. Obviously, he's our backup left back. Matic signed a 3-year deal not so long ago. McTominay, he signed a 5-year deal not so long ago on that. So that is very positive news. But don't get me wrong, there's still improvements needed at Manchester United this season. There really, really is. Solskjaer's got to improve his decision making because in a lot of games last season, his approach to his approach. Yeah, a lot of games last season, his approach to them, weren't so good. I think there's still aspects of our game that I've got to improve. There's still certain players that I've got to improve at Manchester United. So they're the improvements I do want to see. But there's a lot of players, that have improved since Solskjaer came. Martial's done very, very well. Martial has endured 5 years at Manchester United. And obviously now he's our number 9. And he's very, very effective in that central position, even though it isn't his predominant position. But I thought last season very good. And I thought he was very, very good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal era. We paid £36 million for Anthony Martial from Monaco back in 2015. So I hope he can continue his good vein of form this season. I think Rashford, he's improved under Solskjaer. Don't forget, Rashford's just recently recovered from an ankle injury. Yes, he has. He missed both of England's games, I think, recently. He had a back injury for us last season and he was out for a few months with that. Rashford's been part of the club for several years. He's been at the club, I think, 15 years now in total. He's been United player since the age of 7 and he has been in our senior squad since 2016. We know now that Rashford plays on that left-hand side. I thought Mason Greenwood was exceptional last season. He really, really was. Last season, I think, was his first full season in the senior squad. A lot of Mason Greenwood's appearances last season came from the bench, didn't they? But towards the end of last season, he was getting a lot of starts. We've had a few issues with Mason Greenwood recently, haven't we? Recently, he was inhaling laughing gas. He was also withdrawn from the England squad by Gareth Southgate for taking girls back to the team hotel. So too was Phil Foden. Mason Greenwood's going to be our number 11. This season. He's going to become the 4th Manchester United player to wear the number 11. Williams has done very, very well. Well, he did well last season. Williams made his senior debut for the club against Rochdale in the EFL Cup and made his first start in the Premier League against Brighton. He played a lot of games last season, did Brandon Williams. The signings that Solskjaer brought in have done really, really well. I just think that Wan-Bissaka's got to improve his attacking intent. That's the only thing that's letting him down at the moment. But his defensive contributions always been very, very good. This season's going to be Wan-Bissaka's second season at Man United. Last season was his first season at the club. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace last summer. But if he is to emulate to like Trent Alexander-Arnold's level, we've got to see more attacking intent from Wan-Bissaka. I've got to also say that Fred, he's really improved under Solskjaer. Fred's obviously finding game time difficult now. He's found game time difficult since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes. Fred's been subject to transfer speculation in recent weeks, but he's already confirmed he wants to stay at Man United. Fred's been with us a few years now. We paid £52 million in from Shakhtar Donetsk back in the summer of 2018. We actually got him in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. McTominay, he's really improved. I think now he's our first choice defensive midfielder, so we've given him a new role. Don't forget McTominay had that ankle injury last season. Matic, I think he's also improved, and I think Matic will stay at Manchester United at least for another season. So far, he's enjoyed 3 years with the club. We got Matic in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. So they've all really, really improved. I think Pogba did well towards the end of last season, because I didn't really have a perception on him for the vast majority of last season, Pogba, because he was out with that ankle injury. Pogba has sustained a few injuries as a Man United player, but his combination with Bruno Fernandes towards the end of last season was very, very good. May not be playing tomorrow against Crystal Palace. Paul Pogba's just recently recovered from coronavirus, but he was in training not so long ago. Now, I think what Man United have got to do is get Paul Pogba a new long-term contract at the club to end the uncertainty over his future, because let's be honest, he has had a long-running transfer saga. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for the player. But this season will be his 5th season at Man United since he rejoined from Juventus. Luke Shaw, I've been impressed with him as well. I think he had a good season last season, had a few injuries in that, but when he played, he was very, very good. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone. David De Gea will stay at the football club for this season. There's a possibility chance he could leave next year, David De Gea. Like I said, Solskjaer has got a goalkeeping decision to make. I think David De Gea is going to remain our number one for this season. This season's obviously going to be David De Gea's 10th season at the club. David De Gea has been our number one for several years, but I think now he's too much of a liability to remain our number one, because he's been a liability in the last couple of years, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he has made. So I think Solskjaer actually needs to put Dean Henderson as number one. Harry Maguire, don't get me wrong, he had some good games last season for Man United, but there's still improvements needed from him. This season's going to be Harry Maguire's 2nd season at Man United. Last season was his 1st season at the club. We got Harry Maguire in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester last summer. So he's the 2nd most expensive signing at the club and the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment. He was recently given extra time off as Maguire for his court case in Greece and his arrest in Greece. Solskjaer's already made his decision on Maguire. He's going to remain Manchester United captain this season and all of that. So I think Manchester United have got a pretty good squad. There's just key areas where we are lacking. There really, really isn't that. So yeah, definitely players have improved. Now, I give you my preview for the Man United Crystal Palace game yesterday. I'm expecting Man United to win this game against Crystal Palace. It's very imperative that we do get off to a winning start, because it is our first game of the Premier League season. I heard that we could be without 11 players for this game against Crystal Palace. Paul Pogba, Juan Mata, Matic, Fred and Wan-Bissaka, Eric Bailly, and I think Fernandes were all training on Monday. Alex Tuanzebe is out, he's injured. Phil Jones is fit, but I think he's going to be unavailable. So it's going to be interesting to see how he approaches this game. Obviously, the good news is from our perspective that Palace have got quite a few injuries themselves. You know, they've got Benteke out, they've got Connor Wickham out, they've got James Tompkins out, Gary Cahill, Nathan Ferguson and Patrick Van Aanholt. Obviously, you know, this is Crystal Palace's second game of the Premier League season because they won their first game against Southampton by 1-0. But they're out of the Carabao Cup, Crystal Palace, because they recently lost to Bournemouth 11-10 on penalties. Palace did beat us in this game last season at Old Trafford by 2-1. That was Crystal Palace's first win against us at Old Trafford in the Premier League since 1989. We know that we've got Luton in the third round of the Carabao Cup. We should be winning that. Solskjaer make a lot of rotation, I think, in that game. You know, give youngsters more opportunities. And we've got Preston or Brighton in the fourth round because the fourth round draw has been done. That's something I do want to confirm with you. You know, but I'm hopeful that, you know, we can win the title under Solskjaer at some point. You know, I think we're at least a couple of years off winning the title, don't get me wrong. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won it for 7 years. But we are the most successful team in Premier League history because we have won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier League titles. So, yeah. So, anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.